Hello, happy December and welcome. Thanks for being part of these Facebook Live updates. So this is our December update, and I picked today because it's the last full moon of the year. And it's called the snow moon or the cold moon. I much prefer snow than cold. And just remembering last month, the topic was karma is cut away. So we're still in this period, and we're going to be in this period for a while, where there's massive changes of us unhooking from the past and setting our sights on a new way of being. But this is December, the 12th month, the last full moon. So this full moon in this period in the next few days, it really is illuminating our emotional and spiritual selves. And it's especially illuminated because, at least in the Northern Hemisphere, this is the darkest part of the year. So this full moon illuminates deeply our emotional and spiritual selves. And it's a time to reflect on your nature and your values, these deep things that drive you. Are you living your values, or have we gone off into reactivity? Are you true to your nature? So this full moon is showing you that. And the completion of this cycle of 2022 is also showing you this. So in 2 weeks, exactly 2 weeks, is the solstice. That is a major reset time. It will be exactly 10 years from the time everyone gathered in Mexico or all over for the Mayan kind of shift of the ages on December 21st, 2012. And after that, a lot of things began collapsing. And we're still in that. I'm going to call it a defrosting because collapsing sounds like a overwhelming term, but we're in this messy defrosting time, and we're going to be in it. So I call this consciousness update for December decision time. And the decisions are really, are you going to live from your small self, your reactive, wounded self, or can you separate her and live more from your higher self? I had a session, a personal reading with a client this morning, and she talked about 3 days where she was like obsessing over everything and her fear of failure and what did she do wrong and all of this, and pacing back and forth in her apartment. She tried to reach me, but I was in Fiji. And we've all done this. We all get so locked into our small self and our old patterns and our old habits and our old compulsions and our old darkness. And she said, finally, at the end of the 3 days, she walked into her kitchen and she just started laughing at herself, just laughing. And that broke the impasse. So the decision time really is to put your small self on a stool and realize that they are acting out of fear. They're acting out of old patterns. And you are your higher self. In these times we're moving into now, it's our higher self that's in charge, not our small self. Our small self is really hard to put on the stool. So be mindful of your reactions. When I say decision time, I don't mean a big decision like what are you going to do for your life purpose. I mean the decisions and choices you make every moment must be grounded from your higher self and not your reactive small self. And after I did the session today with this client, I was contemplating, how did our small self get so wounded and so reactive and so over present? And I realized that most of those wounds are from childhood, or many of them. And as a child, we think we're the center of the universe, right? Because we don't know anything else. Everything is about us. So when bad things happen, our parents aren't good to us, or we can't find our toy, whatever it is, we think we're the cause of it. So of course we get wounded and we have this fear of failure. What did I do wrong? What's wrong with me? I'm blemished. I'm not as good as everyone else. Everyone has it. So this is a time with the darkness and the illumination of the full moon, the solstice here, to really choose in a new, non-automatic way who you are and who you want to be. Your higher self, once you find that path out of the obsession into that higher self, it's much easier to get there. And then we can be that higher self with a small self that, hey, she's a lot of fun. So we can choose this. So let me just talk a little bit about kind of this picture I often use of what's happening in the big world. So now I'm calling these are growth curves. So this is where we've been. This is where civilization's been. And today I realize I'm calling it the Adam and Eve matrix. This is the matrix that we did something wrong. We were kicked out of paradise. Everything's black and white. We are failures. We have to save ourselves to come back to the garden. So this is where we've been. And all things happen in waves. So there's that wave that's completing. It's going down. And at the same time, there's a new wave, and I'm calling it uncreated because it's not certain. But this wave is pushing toward where we are, even as this wave is pushing that way. So what we get is like two tectonic plates, and it's rumbling now. We feel it, we see it, we know it. So when two tectonic plates meet on the earth, one goes under and that pushes the other one up. So we're really in that period of two tectonic plates pushing. And so this one's going to appear to go down, but it's the going down that pushes the other one up. So everything that is happening is perfect. These are messy times. These are not predictable. They're not always easy. They're going to flare up every insecurity we have. But just know that this is where we're going. And we don't have to take this roller coaster down and get on the new roller coaster. What we're doing because of our spiritual impetus, our spiritual core that we are awakening and refining, is we are jumping from here to here. And we're creating for everyone else a lifeline, a channel from the old world to the new world without having to go through the diminishment of civilizations or unrest or global climate meltdown. And let me just say something. I happened to look, because I was planning what 2023 will look like. And I looked online for Nostradamus's predictions. Don't look, they're horrible. And I was pretty depressed. I thought, oh my God, no. But now I realize that Nostradamus was here looking at that, and he saw this. He couldn't see where we are now. No one can see it. It's new in the universe. So really what's important now is that I also said that this is a magnetic upgrade. So this is a decision time and a magnetic upgrade, because I'm feeling it and I know my clients are feeling it. Understand that in space on Earth, we have ley lines. We have the major dragon lines that cross around the world, or the major ones just cross in two places. But we have ley lines. Wherever there's a ley line, it's a vortex. It's a vortex of energy. It's an upliftment. So we go to power places so we can uplift, so we can grow quickly, because in those power places, there is growth, there is newness there. Well, there's not just ley lines, there's not just magnetic lines on Earth, in space. There's also magnetic lines in time, because it's a space-time continuum. So you might imagine that the same thing as ley lines are happening in time, and that we are coming to a period where these time ley lines are crossing. How do we know that? Because we can feel the vortex of change. We talk about the old timelines no longer fit. We are creating new timelines. Again, it's these these magnetic waves in time are also meeting and crossing. So we have such an opportunity in the next few years. It's not just now, and maybe in the next many, many years, to create from the uncreated. We have to do that by magnetically standing, not in the old wave, but in the new wave. So I'm going to make a few announcements, and then you get where we are. I'm going to hold a space, because my guides have been training me for 33 years how to hold a space. And by triangulation, what happens is, here I am, here you are, here's the space. And you're all connected to that new space. But with my guides, I can very strongly connect to that new space, and you're connected to me. So through the process of triangulation, when my guides and I hold a space, your strength to that space is open. So that space is a new magnetic field, the one that represents the new wavelength, or the new world, not the old one. So my announcements are that on December 21st at noon Denver time, we will have our third of our activation series. And that is for the solstice, and it's called Surfing the Waves of Change. It's an activation where you are actually changed. It's not all about talking. The second one, which we did on the lunar eclipse in October, was so powerful that we put that up on YouTube for free. So please, please, in the next 2 weeks before the 21st, please go to YouTube, watch that free activation, receive it, so that you get the most out of the activation that happens on this solstice, 10 years from December 21st, 2012. Next year is, Mark always gives a theme to the years. This year has been the year of truth. 2023 is the year for leadership. Again, I guess it's playing on making choices, really being decisive moment to moment, because that's how our leadership grows. And we will have a set of monthly meditations on leading your life for next year. But this year, the year of truth, our monthly meditations have been the Ascension series. So our December monthly meditation that was just released yesterday is taking flight. So even if you haven't been part of the whole series of 12 Ascension School meditations, join now, and you can find it on the website. Join now for taking flight. I think that's it. I am starting a master's program, taking 12 people, starting in January for a 6-month intensive program. So you can find that on my website. So happy holidays. I'm going to do all the closing. Happy holidays. Happy A blessed Hanukkah, Merry Christmas, Happy Solstice, Happy New Year. And we will do again a consciousness update in January. But now we'll just hold the space for this magnetic upgrade so that you can be magnetically connected to that uncreated future that we all came to be part of, and let go more and more of the old patterns and the Adam and Eve matrix. Have your feet strongly on the earth, because you may actually feel energies coming up one leg and going down another as we balance the magnetics of your body. Of course, you can feel that your higher self has a different magnetic plane or magnetic field than your normal self. So feel that magnetism moving into you, into your body, through your feet into the earth. Just relax your body. And dear ones, you're very powerful, or you wouldn't be following this spiritual path. Just be mindful this month especially, but be mindful, present, connected to the earth. It's so easy to get off into patterns, holiday stuff, family stuff, and be your old self. But let this energy begin a new cycle for all of us as we complete 2022, complete the last full moon in 2022, and move to a new year. I'll close this broadcast for now, but stay in this space asking your higher self for the magnetic upgrade that will most serve you and your uncharted future. Thank you. Blessings and happy holidays.